Christina Lynn, and this is my audience of 9. How many animals died or suffered to test the cosmetic products and shampoo that you used this morning? Many of the products that we use on a daily basis are first tested on dogs, cats, rabbits, and other animals. Each year, millions of animals are used for product testing that range anywhere from drugs to just simple shampoo, all for your benefit. The usual procedures are to pump a substance into an animal's stomach or airways, or to apply it directly to their eyes or their skin. I have a dog at home that I love, and I would never want to see anything bad happen to her. Most of us are pet owners. If not, we know someone who has a beloved pet. Could you imagine seeing your pet being tortured for your own benefit? Animal testing is a cruel, inhumane, and an unnecessary method, and we need to work together to help stop animal testing. To properly understand this, you need to know what kind of methods are being done to animals today. The tests being done to animals are cruel and inhumane that go largely unnoticed by the public. According to the American Anti-Vivisection Society, companies use LD50 or a lethal dose test. These tests conducted are where animals are force-fed to swallow large amounts of a test chemical to determine the dose that causes death. Skin sensitization tests are also used to determine if a chemical can cause an allergic reaction by rubbing it directly onto animals' shaved skin. Multiple doses are then used on the animal to create an allergic reaction. Another is the Draize test, which was named after the Federal Drug Administration scientist John Draize. This test is known as an eye irritation test that are used for cosmetics that are done to rabbits and other species. The level of this irritation to the eyes are then scored by observing the 3 major tissues of the eye: the cornea, the conjunctiva, and the iris. In this test, substances are dropped directly into the rabbit's eye. The eyes are then evaluated after 1 hour, then at 24-hour intervals for 14 days. These rabbits suffer from redness, bleeding, ulcers, and blindness, and then are ultimately killed, normally by asphyxiation, neck breaking, or by decapitation. Now that I have explained some of the cruel and inhumane tests that are done, let us look at how there are not enough laws and regulations for the protection of these animals. Currently, there are no laws and few regulations for animal testing. The current law, the Animal Welfare Act, only has basic standards of care for basic animals, but does not provide any protection for all animals, such as mice, rats, and birds. When the Animal Welfare Act was passed in 1966, it was only passed in response to a growing concern for dogs and cats that were lost and stolen, but only for use for research. In 1970, the definition of animals covered were to only include warm-blooded animals used for research, testing, and experimentation. The regulation in the amendment excluded mice, rats, and birds. Though the regulations improve the standard care of animals in the laboratory, they do not protect them from harm. Just because a product is labeled safe to be used in animals, it does not guarantee it is safe to use in humans. There is no law that requires companies to test their products on animals before selling them to consumers. The Food and Drug Administration, the Environmental Protection Agency, the National Toxicology Program are just a few government agencies that subject to animals to crude and painful tests. If we know the right steps to take, we can all help to put an end to animal testing. It is important to know that there are other alternatives to help stop animal testing. Heike Merching and other researchers have found that using an in vitro human skin equivalent, it can be used to directly mimic all the characteristics of human skin. The 3D skin can then be viewed as physiologically comparable to the natural skin, thus making it suitable for animal testing. GERI, which stands for the Group of Education of Animal Rights Issues, has other alternatives such as using a synthetic skin, which is known as Corsatex. This non-animal dermal corrosivity test is designed as a replacement for the skin test that was used on rabbits. We can learn to buy cruelty-free products. We can invest in cruelty-free companies such as PETA in an effort to exploit companies that do test on animals. Know where your products are coming from. Search for the words, not tested on animals. Make your voice heard. Write to companies that you will no longer be purchasing their products because you are horrified to find that they are testing on animals. Write to our representatives. Ask them to reconsider animal testing and help put an end to it once for all. NAVS, which is the National Anti-Vivisection Society, helps make voices heard on behalf of animals by contacting legislators and their staff to launch an effort to change the laws and regulations for animal testing. It is time for us to make a change and stop this once and for all. Each of us can help prevent animal suffering and deaths by being cruelty-free. We can take steps on putting it to end. We know what they do and what we can do to stop it. If you cannot imagine seeing your pet being tortured all day, why should any other animal be any different? Animals have feelings and they should be treated with respect and dignity. Animal testing violates animals' rights, causing them pain and suffering, all for your benefit. They are exploited for selfish human gain. This type of treatment is cruel and unnecessary. If we do not stop animal testing, in the end, we humans are animals too. And this is my audience of 9.